It's nearly Halloween, and the Broncos have a scary defense. We're going to break it down on today's DNVR Broncos show. This is a historic defense approaching the 2015 Super Bowl team. We're going to talk about just how good they are and how close they are to being that team, and it starts now. The Broncos are back from an undefeated road trip, and so are we. Stateside, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores, and of course, presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Place a $5 bet, deposit $10, and you get $200 in bonus bets when you sign up. And we are back in Denver, the Mile High City, where the Denver Broncos have the second best record in the NFL at 4-2, and vibes couldn't be better after that win against the Jets and Eagles and Bengals. 3-game win streak for the Broncos. Henry, are your vibes as good?
Maybe not quite as good. First of all, the spin job, the second best record, sounds a lot better than like 7 seed in the AFC. But we'll go with it.
Yes,
it sounds a little better.
Second best record in the NFL.
Yeah, it sounds a little better. No, I'm sick. I'm tired. I can't tell up from down. Like we're gonna power through this one, and I'm gonna go. I don't even know what medicine sick people take, but I need a lot of it.
So shout out to the crew that held it down yesterday, because we were all traveling back. Ryan's actually still in Europe, but Benny, you, me, we were all traveling back all day yesterday. I think I counted it was like a 19-hour from door to door trip for me. But
Did you have the direct flight?
We were on different flights. No.
Okay.
No, I went through Dublin for 2 hours, then came home. You went through Dallas, is that right?
Yeah, further from Denver than. Further from London than Denver is when we flew back.
Maybe that's hurting your vibe a little bit.
Well, and then just imagine not being able to like breathe and having like a runny nose and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
the
joyous.
Entire day. Not fun at all.
Yeah, that
not fun at all.
That is not fun at all. Before we jump into the football talk, it is a good day for one of our OGs, Henry.
Oh, good.
The Count. It is his birthday, so he's in the Toyota chat right now. Wanted to say happy birthday to our guy, the legend, the Count. Let's hit him with a happy birthday in the Toyota chat, and make sure you hit us with a thumbs up. Okay, so maybe, Henry, I can bring your vibes up a little bit by telling you just how freaking good this Broncos defense is. I like to compile like fun stats, especially positive ones, and just blow my brain. And after this Jets game, I might have compiled more positive, fun, good stats after a single game than I ever have.
Wow.
Because of how good this Broncos defense is. So we're going to look at it from a micro level, then build out to a macro level and compare it to this 2015 defense and see if this really is a Super Bowl caliber defense 6 weeks into a season. But let's start with the historic game that the Broncos had on Sunday against the Jets. First, the Jets didn't take a single snap inside the red zone, which is absolutely insane. It's also the first time that that a team hasn't allowed an explosive play in the entire NFL since 2021. An explosive play, 12 or more rushing yards or 16 or more passing yards. And as our friend Brian Baldinger, who's going to join us tomorrow, pointed out on his Baldy's breakdowns, the Jets' most explosive play, their biggest play, came on a botched snap that Breece Hall picked up and ran. So it was just like a busted play, and they just got lucky there. It's the fewest passing yards, the fewest total yards, and the most sacks that the Broncos have had in a game since at least 2000. The Broncos held the Jets to -10 passing yards, which is the second fewest passing yards allowed by any NFL team since 1990. And the Jets' -10 passing yards is the fewest that the Broncos have ever allowed. I don't even, allowed feels wrong because they went the opposite way.
Right.
How would we correct that saying?
Taken away from them.
Yeah, so it's the most yards they've taken away from a team in the passing game.
Right.
Which is just sick to say. And that's why after the game, all Nick Bonitto could do was just laugh at that fact and then say it's funny. A few more for you. It's the second time Denver has held an opponent to negative passing yards. It's the fifth time since 2000. Okay, stick with me on this one. It's the fifth time since 2000 that a defense had 9 or more sacks and allowed fewer than 10 completions. Broncos had 9 sacks. Justin Fields had 9 completions.
Right.
That is insane. Typically,
and rare.
It's so rare. I mean, typically, what's a normal game? 25 completions and 3 sacks?
I'm so skewed by this Broncos defense. I was actually trying to remember that today.
Yeah.
We'll get into some of the numbers me and Benny were talking about, but like 3 sacks a game is maybe normal for 3.
And completions, 20, 25, 22, 27.
Yeah. Getting against the Broncos, both those numbers are way different, but
insane. Come on. What are we doing here? That's just the 5th time that has happened. Just an insane game from the defense.
Yeah, I know. You just won't see things like that very often. I feel really bad for the people out in London who, like, this might be the one football game they go to in their entire life, and it was that just disgusting mess of a game. And again, like, credit to the Broncos. A mess is generally a good sign for the defense, but boy, was Justin Fields doing them some favors. It's kind of crazy going back and looking at the sacks. It's like, you're like, okay, let's get the cut up. Let's look at just like the 9 sacks back to back to back to back. And you think, oh, it's going to be Bonitto off the edge. It's going to be like,
yeah.
But no, it's just like Fields drops back. Fields sits there. The receiver comes open. Fields doesn't throw the ball. Fields tries to escape. Oh, there's John Franklin Myers for another sack. He was like, oh, this is so terrible. These poor guys. And there was a bunch of there were some really good plays, obviously, and some good designs and all that. But I think PFF credited 5 of the sacks to Justin Fields. So 4 of the sacks to his offensive lineman, 5 of them, they're like, yep, that's just Justin's fault.
So did you see after the game where Aaron Glenn got super pissed at a reporter for asking if he's considering benching Justin Fields?
I didn't.
And then on Monday, he clarified. Yeah, he really snapped at a reporter right after the game. Then on Monday, he said, look, Justin had one bad game. I thought he's been playing good up until that game. I'm not going to bench a player just based off of one game. But the reason it's a fair question is, yeah, I agree with you. Has he really had 4 good games or 5 good games leading up to that? But the reason why I think it's a fair question is because the Broncos broke Justin Fields. He, at no point in that game did he actually look like a competent quarterback.
No.
Like, he went back there, and if he wasn't getting sacked within 2 seconds, he knew that the pass rush was coming and was seeing ghosts. And just, it was, as a Broncos fan, it was tough to watch in a good way, like tough, Tuff. For everyone else watching this, it was so unbelievably tough to watch this because the Jets didn't have a quarterback on Sunday, thanks to what the Broncos were able to do.
Well, and the worst part is they didn't have a running back either. Like, typically, he at least is a running back for you. It's like, okay, he might have some games where he doesn't throw the ball well, but at least he's going to go get something with his legs. When Justin Fields isn't able to run the ball, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
And when you combine that with what I would imagine is his best or worst game as a passer as well, this is what you see. A game where it's super disappointing it wasn't a shutout. The Broncos make their couple of mistakes. They give them the field goals. They give up the one drive before half or right after half to give up another field goal. It's like, it's a real shame. It's a real shame. The safety.
Broncos defense themselves allowed 3 points.
That field goal drive,
in the beginning of the second half.
Right.
Because
big return.
The first 2 drives that the Jets got field goals on, they didn't get a single first down. The fumble by Troy Franklin led to a field goal. And again, defense did everything they could to keep them out of scoring position. And then on the other side, you had that 72-yard return on special teams, which you just can't have. We're going to talk about special teams a little bit later in the show, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And they didn't get a first down on that one either. So the Broncos defense allowed 3 points. The Jets defense scored 2 points. For the Jets. So just absolutely insane dominance. Okay, let's take a step back and start looking at this macro level for how good the Broncos defense is. Just an incredible start to the season. The Broncos have not allowed a touchdown in 3 of their first 6 games of the season. Think about that. Haven't allowed a touchdown in 3 of the first 6 games. That's the 4th most games without allowing a touchdown in 6 games since 1990 for the entire NFL.
Whoa. 4th most games, not so 3 is the 4th most.
Correct. Yeah, I think
3 teams who have allowed. I think had more games without allowing.
3 teams have been at 4 games. Yeah,
Okay.
these numbers are confusing.
Well, yeah.
And then so the Broncos are right below them at 3 teams, and maybe they can get right up there and be the number 1 if they're able to hold the Giants out of the end zone. We are going to get into the Giants maybe a little later today, but definitely tomorrow and Thursday. Again, we're going to have Baldy on with us. That is just so difficult to hold teams out of the end zones.
It is.
And then to do it in half of your games in the first 6 weeks is wild.
I mean, it's insane. It really is insane. And with all these, like, we're a third of the way through the season.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to Benny in the airport. I think it was in the airport. I was trying to remember on the way in. I was like, we spent so much time together. Was it the airport? Was it the Dallas airport? Was it the London airport? We went to all these airports again. The bars. Spent a lot of time. So I don't remember exactly where this conversation was. It doesn't matter, though. I asked him, when do we get to start, like, getting excited about this defense and being like, okay, like, this could really be real. And it's like halfway point. I was like, yep, halfway point.
Okay.
But then you think about it, and you're just like, well, if the Broncos don't get another sack between now and the halfway point in the season, they're still going to be leading the NFL in sacks. so like, maybe we've already gotten that part, you know?
And then you look, and they play Jackson Dart, who at least I'm going to give him all of the respect in the world for this game, because he's having a hell of a first 3 games to
I'm
start
excited
his
to go
career.
back and watch.
But he is a rookie, so
Right.
you should be able to get after him. Then it's Dak Prescott, where the Giants don't win games, all they do is lose, but they do it in exciting fashion. It's the opposite of what the Jets do and how that game on Sunday went down. Then you get CJ Stroud is actually right after that.
Right.
You can get after him a little bit. Then you get Geno Smith. You can definitely get after him. And then Patrick Mahomes. But I mean, like, there are, in the next 6 games, it's like only 2 quarterbacks that, and some people Dak isn't even scared by, or Dak, some people aren't scared by Dak, which I understand. But I mean, like, these stats can just keep racking up, Henry. And you mentioned the pass rush. That's an insane thing that you just said, but you're so right. The Broncos could go many games without a sack.
Yeah.
3 games potentially and still lead the league in sacks,
Yeah.
because they have not only the most sacks in the NFL at 30 right now. They're on pace to break the record for total sacks. They have 50% more sacks than the number 2 team in the NFL.
Right.
The number 2 team, I think it's the Seahawks, and the Steelers are tied at 20 sacks for the second best pass rush in the NFL. Broncos are at 30 sacks right now. It's the 9th. The Broncos are the 9th in the NFL history to reach, 9th fastest team in NFL history to reach 30 sacks by doing it in 6 games.
Okay.
Sean Payton's reaction to that was the shortest answer that he had in the post-game press conference. He said, pretty quick.
There you go. Pretty quick.
The 30 sacks in the first 6 games is a franchise record for sacks. I'm going to rattle out some stats here about how good this Broncos pass rush is. The 30 sacks is the 5th most sacks in NFL history through the first 6 games. 30 sacks is the most through the first 6 games in the entire NFL since 1988. So you have to go back nearly 40 years to find a pass rush that started the season this good. They're the 3rd team since 1990 with 5+ sacks in 4 of the first 6 games. So 5 sacks.
5 sacks and 4 of the first. Yeah.
In 66% of the games
That's
that the
pretty
Broncos
good.
have played in right now. And of course, 9 sacks is the most by the Broncos in a game ever. Ties the record back in 1966 when they did it then. So just insane. I can't say enough about this.
Do you think they'll get
defense.
a 10-sack game
This year?
Yeah.
Gosh, you would have thought it would have been. Are Geno Smith and Cam Ward the 2 best candidates in terms of quarterbacks?
I mean, I would say Geno Smith just loves to take a sack, and then you put him behind that.
Whoa!
There we go.
Pause.
It's just the
that
truth.
Might have been the most
That was a
egregious
pause.
one
That
ever.
was. But then you put him right behind that offensive line, and I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's automatic. At the same time, though, after watching Justin Fields and his, like, maybe nobody wants to have to be sacked more
No one
than
wants a sack.
Justin Fields. Yeah, that. And you saw Jonathan Cooper being blocked by a rookie, and I don't know
Yeah.
who that number 71 is. I still haven't looked up his name, but boy, was he horrible.
Yeah.
I think, like, the Raiders are really bad, though. And so maybe they
Yeah.
have a couple of those pieces where there's just no answer. And we'll talk about this more in the inside scoop. But the Jets kind of blocked everything upright. Like, the Broncos send a bunch of pressures, and they got their guys in the right spot. It just didn't really matter. Could the Raiders blow their protections and give you a bunch more of the easy ones? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, man, that would be something. And just looking through the Broncos' schedule, you're absolutely right. The Raiders is definitely the most obvious candidate that sticks out among all those other the quarterbacks that the Broncos play moving forward. But right now, Broncos on pace for I think 84 sacks. The record's 70, so not unbelievable.
72, I think.
72. Okay, and Broncos are on pace for 84, so they're on pace to beat it by 12 sacks.
And if they get 74, then they'll have the most ever in a 2-year stretch.
Ooh.
Which is almost more impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it won't get talked about as much as like the single best sack season. Not that anybody talks about that. Like, literally nobody talks about the 1984 Bears. It doesn't come up. People talk about the 85 Bears. They talk about other things, but nobody ever brings up that record. So maybe it is just as impressive to have the back-to-back years. It really proves it.
We'll certainly be talking about it a lot right now. And one person, before we talk about how this compares to the 2015 defense, one person that I want to give a shout out to is our friends over at Dick's Sporting Goods. We're Colorado. You got to stop by your local Dick's Sporting Goods for the hottest apparel and footwear from top brands like Nike, Adidas, Originals, FP Movement, VRST, DNVR. You heard me right. We got DNVR in Dick's Sporting Goods right now, so you can go pick up your apparel inside a Dick's Sporting Goods. Plus, the latest equipment for basketball, baseball, football, soccer, golf, all your tailgating essentials. I stopped in the Cherry Creek Dick's Sporting Goods a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't believe their golf section. It was incredible. So, and if you found a lower price somewhere else, they're going to match it with the best price match guarantee. Get your gear fast with free curbside pickup at your nearest store or easy shipping from Dicks.com, because every season starts over at Dick's. Check them out, Dicks.com.
Also, Ent Credit Union. We did the post-game show on Sunday, very late at night. And around 11 o'clock that night, I was about to go to bed, and Ryan came over and gave me our Ent Credit Union card so that I would have it for today.
Wow.
Never thought about it again. Luckily, I put it in my wallet, and so now here it is. Have
you swiped it?
Everybody says that it won't work, but maybe it's something you got to try for yourself just to see.
And also, every 10 swipes? Every 15 swipes,
15
earns you a
swipes.
chance to win Broncos tickets?
Right, and this is the beautiful new card.
And if it's a company card, I mean, that's a win-win for you, Henry.
Right, it is a company card. Like you said, the Broncos checking account means that for every 15 swipes, you get another chance to win home game tickets. You get this beautiful card, 10% off food and gear on game days and Empower Field, no surprise fees. Ent Credit Union is the best. Bank like a Bronco. If you're ready to do that, head over to ent.com/DNVR. It's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associate Ent Broncos debit card.
So, Henry, the shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Place that $5 to bet after depositing $10. Boom. $200 in bonus bets in your account just like that. All right. Henry.
Also, what is this in the chat? Colorado Straight Flush. Good to see you back in Colorado, Zach. I'm also here.
Thank you, Colorado Straight Flush.
I'm back too.
I thought you were gonna.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say it was what's going on because you spelled my name wrong.
Also
Z-A-K.
Spelled like Zach Zinter.
We are happy that Henry is back too. We are sad that Ryan is not back. And Benny is recording Broncos X's and O's right now. So make sure to stay tuned to that tomorrow when that drops. I think tomorrow. Maybe it'll drop today. I'm not quite sure on that. But that is definitely a staple in everyone's diet. Also, shout out to Ryan and Akib for the No Lie Zone. Make sure to check out that show. But let's dive back into our conversation. Speaking about no fly zones, Henry, we'll compare the Broncos defense this year to the 2015 defense in just a second. But what's scary about this Broncos defense is how good they are in this past game over the past 6 games to start this season. They might only get better because Malcolm Roach just made his season debut this past week. He did look good.
He looked really
he's
good.
not someone that you can look at the stat sheet and be like, was he good or not? You got to watch, and I completely agree. He was really good. But I would think, tell me if I'm being too much of a homer here, but I would think that he's only going to get better as the season goes along, since that was his season debut.
Yeah. No, I you would think so. You would hope so. That is the best we've ever seen him play. And if he just wants to be that guy the rest of the season, that is good enough. I don't need any more.
Oh my goodness, I love hearing that. Another one in the trenches, Ini Uwazurike.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing the best. He really might be a guy that's only going to get better. He just had the first back-to-back games with the sack that he's ever had in the NFL.
Yeah. No, I mean, he looks good. He's another one who I was trying to tell people all offseason. He and Alex Palashevsky are starters in the NFL. Maybe not quite yet, but eventually they will be. And so far, he's proving me right. I'm not sure what the game-by-game snap counts are, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to pull him up quickly enough. But you just see him trust him more. And it just builds and builds and builds. And I think now with Malcolm Roach back, this is kind of the test. Kind of see how he fits in, because you'd imagine it's pretty clear cut. It's him, it's Malcolm, and the top three guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to feel like you've got 5 defensive linemen who you can rotate through, and every one of them is going to make plays for you.
Yeah, 100%. Great point. And then another guy that I think it's fair to only expect him to get better as the season goes along is first-round pick Jahdae Barron.
Yeah.
I mean, a rookie just getting more playing time. You would expect as the season goes along, maybe he takes 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But you would assume that over the course of the season, he's only going to trend up.
Right.
You seem a little skeptical, or no?
I'm a little scared. I want to see it before I just say he's going to be a really good player. I'm curious what the path is, because if he gets better, he still might not be one of your 3 best quarters. You know, so it still just might not matter. If he gets really better, then that's where it could kind of come into play. Maybe it's about time for Jahdae Barron deep dive. Spending that time out there, I feel like I'm lost in everything in the NFL. Like, I don't know who won the games this week. I've looked at the standings. Like, I've read through them. Like, people are saying they were like ranking the second-year quarterbacks, and they don't have Bo in the top 5, and I'm outraged. And I was like, well, I feel like I haven't seen any of the other guys play in about 3 weeks at this point.
Would they have him at 6?
Yeah, behind Rattler's up there. Somebody tweeted out there. But again, and so that's my thought. I was like, yeah, Rattler's not better. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen him play except for 3 weeks ago when I think he won. And it's like, well, who am I to say? There's a bunch of those things. And I feel like Jahdae is one of the guys who I've just, I think these past 2 weeks, just being so busy, I haven't caught up. But early on, some struggles in the assignments. You know, we talk about, what was it, 4 games they haven't given up a touchdown? Was it I think it was week 1, he blew the coverage that gave up a touchdown. Yeah, and those are the things that sometimes with the rookie, you just, some teams can swallow that pill. This Broncos defense swallowing the rookie pill is going to be kind of tough to do. But, you know, if Jaquan hits a tough stretch, Riley hits a tough stretch, and that's where you might see an opportunity.
Well, and man, Jaquan, he became the all-time leading sack artist for an undrafted defensive back in NFL history. And what is he, 26 years old or something?
See, I love all the more qualifiers there are with the stats, the more you just have to say, like, okay, does this matter? Does this matter? Does this matter? And the answer is yes, this one does matter.
Okay,
this one does matter.
I got one more for you for a defensive guy. Before I talk about the biggest addition the Broncos could get on defense, tell me if this one means something. Jonathan Cooper has 28 sacks in his career so far.
Okay, that means something.
It's the most by a 7th round pick since the NFL draft expanded to 7 rounds back in the 1990s.
I'm not. I'll say does not matter.
Does not matter? What are you talking about? That's one of the best value pass rushers in NFL history.
It matters for a George Payton narrative. Yeah. It does not matter for a Broncos success narrative, because it doesn't matter how you get here. It's what you do when you get here. What matters is the 28 sacks and because he's a good player.
Touche.
Yep. Matters to George Payton.
That. Yep.
It might make him some money.
And to Jonathan Cooper for, you know, he's following the Chris Harris route. Now, while he was drafted, he was a 7th round pick. No one counted on him, just like no one counted on Chris Harris, who signed with the Broncos for a $2,000 signing bonus to do anything. He turns into an all-pro Ring of Famer. Jonathan Cooper, maybe along those lines right now, that 2-sack game that he just had.
Here's a way that it could matter. Because again, like matters means like Broncos, this helps the Broncos.
Yeah.
You are where you are. He's a good player. Doesn't matter where he comes from. But if he had been drafted in the first round, would he have cost the Broncos more on the extension just because of the name?
Yep.
So it might slightly
maybe like
matter.
$10 million
in a
more
roundabout.
per year.
Indirectly slightly matters.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
I like that, Henry.
Yep.
And let's talk about the one guy who I think can be the biggest addition to this defense that they have not seen, Dre Greenlaw.
Yep.
Henry, he's eligible to come back off the injured reserve as early as this week. We'll get a glimpse into if the Broncos are thinking that at tomorrow's practice on Wednesday, because they can open his practice window, which means he has 3 weeks to either go back on IR for the rest of the season or come off of the IR within the next 3 weeks. But he can practice tomorrow, doesn't mean he will, and then he can play this Sunday.
If the league says so, but does his leg. I think first game in the stands in a long time for me this weekend.
Yeah.
4 years. Way more fun than that terrible little press box up there. Boy, is that. I will call the press box a world of suck.
Wow.
I'd go that far.
Wow. I would say the one in Tottenham was not a world of suck because it's
Those are
open
best.
air.
It's like
you're so
Wembley.
low. You get to almost like hear the players talk.
Right.
It's so much better.
'Cause-
And you were even closer than I was.
Right. But it's just like you get to hear the cheers and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, this is not like the most excited environment, but at least you can feel it. Like, you know what's going on. The point being, seeing Dre Greenlaw be maybe not the most excited, among the most excited players going into the locker room after the Broncos win, feels good.
Yeah.
And it's not because I thought he might be detached or anything like that, but it's good to see that and confirm what I believed optimistically, that he is still very attached. If you wanted to get really weird, you could read those emotions and seeing him come back out with his bag and all that stuff. The excitement that he had is like, I don't know, maybe he thinks this is the last one before he gets back. But we'll see. It'd be huge to have him back, of course. But I mean, say Dre Greenlaw is on the field last week. No way the Broncos are any better, right? There's no way.
I mean, credit, Alex Singleton had his best game.
Yeah.
He was great. Justin Sternad had the second most sacks on the Broncos this past week at 1.5 sacks. But you get a great player. Yes, I think they would have been better.
They would have been negative 11 passing yards.
Yeah, negative 11 passing yards, and on top of that, maybe the Jets don't get that field goal drive to start the third quarter.
Okay. I think to me it's
your point's fair though.
Oh, absolutely, as is yours. But I think the Broncos defense is so good right now, and to be this good, you need to get lucky. Like, there's no way around it. In the same way that like the Rockies really sucked this year, but in order to be as bad as they were, you also need to have bad luck. Like, everything needs to go the wrong way for that to happen. So I think that he will add something. He might even be one of their better players on the defense. You're really hoping he is. But if he comes in and the numbers dip a little bit from the entire defense, I won't be surprised, because you can still be maybe the best defense in the league, even with a little bit of regression to the mean. Yeah,
you're right. And Justin Sternad, by the way, has turned in to what the Broncos hoped Drew Sanders would be when they said he's playing inside linebacker. That's exactly who the Broncos hoped, and there was so much hope for Drew Sanders, a 5-star, the number one recruit in the country coming out of high school, and then he's just suffered so many injuries that it's really derailed his NFL career. But that's what Justin Sternad has been. They hope that Drew Sanders is going to be that blitzing inside linebacker. Boom. That's exactly what Justin has been. And so when Dre Greenlaw's back, Justin Sternad, I hope, still gets a couple of snaps on the defense.
Yeah.
Because, man, he has, 3.5 sacks on the season so far. He's number one in terms of inside linebackers and sacks.
Right.
I still hope that he gets some opportunity to play.
And I think he will. I think there's a lot that goes into it, but when Dre Greenlaw's back, Singleton is still your every down linebacker. Greenlaw is the guy who has a bit of a snap count, comes off in some packages. Like, you just can't put that guy on the field. That was the case according to Sean Payton coming into the season before he even went to IR again.
Yep, he's the green dot guy.
Exactly. Like this is still the Singleton captain in the middle defense, but with Greenlaw playing the will position over Sternad. Now there's going to be a bunch of like the funny packages they throw out there, the nickel and dime stuff where there's only one linebacker. I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way for Sternad. And there's still a piece of me that thinks Drew Sanders, again, first play back last year was a sack. I think if you find a way to get him on the team, which is going to be tough numbers wise, with the special teams this bad, I think there's one more guy who fixes that. And those third down packages, that's what he's built for. I'm curious to see what they do. You might even see all three linebackers on the field occasionally. Who's to say? It's just nice to have those options. And we're going to knock on wood because health is a big part of the NFL, as much as it can feel like, wow, we've got a spare linebacker right now. And I know there's still a portion of Broncos country who hates the linebackers, and you can go be wrong in your corner. But the fact that you feel like you've got like the depth there, the depth on the defensive line, the depth at cornerback. We hardly even talked about PJ Locke and his few snaps, but the fact that he is a backup safety, like knock on wood, because sometimes those things don't last forever. But as of now, it just, if you're Vance Joseph, you have so many options in every single game.
It's sick. I mean, you have a sick in a good way for the Broncos, bad way for every offense they play, because you also have a first-round pick in Jahdae Barron coming off the bench. You have Malcolm Roach, who will be a starter in the NFL next year if he wants to be. Like, he can hit free agency if he wants and just say, thanks, Broncos, but I want to be a starter, because he's that good too. So you legitimately have starters at every single position that are coming off the bench, which is just insane. What's also insane is that we're having a conversation about how this team might be equal to the 2015 Super Bowl 50 defense. Let's dive into the film first and then have this conversation comparing the two units. And Henry is going to do our inside scoop. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at HelloFresh. Fall is here and it comes with cooler nights, heartier meals, and craving for something warm and satisfying. That's where HelloFresh comes in. They are going to give you the most delicious food delivered straight to your door. HelloFresh has doubled its menu. You can choose from 100 options each week. That is insane. You feel great with even healthier menu filled with high protein and veggie packed recipes. You get steak and seafood recipes delivered every week for no extra cost, and there's 3 times more seafood on their menu now. I used HelloFresh in the past, and you should too, because it is delicious, it's easy, it's simple, it's delivered straight to you. And the best way to get to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/Broncos10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. One per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/Broncos10FM to get 10 free meals and a free item for life.
Also, shout out to Common Spirit. They're more than just hospitals. They also have an incredible sports medicine program. So if you're somebody like me, an athlete, somebody who at halftime of a Grizz game a couple weeks ago ran some one-on-ones, got thrown at 7 times, knocked away all 7 passes, 0 for 7 against me, and Pat Surtain signs off as me being a premier cornerback. Wow. Then people like us need to go over to Common Spirit and take advantage of their sports medicine program. Again, even if you aren't the premier athlete that I am, if you're somebody who has like chronic pain, those sorts of things, they've got a bunch of qualified and passionate providers that can help in a bunch of different ways. Diagnosis, treatment, prevention of sports-related injuries for all athletes, including your Denver Broncos players. Their experts understand the unique demands your body faces, so you'll get personalized treatment plans combining things like physical therapy, injury prevention strategies, strength training. It's not about just fixing what's broken. It's about preventative care as well. So don't let an injury keep you on the bench, or even better, get proactive about your health. For more information, visit mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
And let's dive in to the inside scoop where Henry's going to take us through the film as he does every week over at thednvr.com. But just like we're talking about the Broncos having starters that come off the bench, Henry, you're a starter, just filling in for Benny today seamlessly. So let's dive into the inside scoop, which is brought to you by Ent Credit Union. Bank like a Bronco. Go to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR and sign up for that Broncos checking account today. Ent Credit Union is assured by NCUA. Membership required. Annual percentage yield. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card.
All right.
Boom. Let's do it.
I'm trying to decide. So if Benny's the starter and I'm the backup.
You're the sixth man of the year.
Right.
You're Malcolm Roach.
I think Malcolm Roach is the choice. It's
Yeah.
I love Sternad, of course. PJ. I think today I'll be doing my Malcolm Roach impression.
Well, do you want to be, if you can flip to the offensive side, you could be Troy Franklin if you consider Marvin Mims the starter.
It's more rotational though. Like I feel like I got to give Benny the credit of being the number one.
Okay, so and you're going Malcolm.
Yep, I'll be Malcolm.
Jonah Ellis?
Ooh, Jonah
Q
Ellis
Robinson just made his NFL debut look pretty damn good.
Was Jonah Ellis holding the Broncos pass rush back?
Wow.
The question they never had 9 sacks with him.
Wow.
Yes. So we're going to start. I just pulled a few of the sacks, 3 of the sacks, and then we're going to hit an offensive play as well because
I love it.
Nobody cares about defense anymore. It's really sad. Yep.
Wait, you just said nobody cares about defense anymore, so we're going to do 75% on the defense.
And it should be 100% because they're incredible, but we have to feed the offense. This is the game ender. This is Jonathan Cooper finishing things off.
Show me how he finishes it off. And also, you hear, make sure to save this chat from Vegino.
Our new friend.
Yes.
Yes. That's a fun one. So this is one of the things. This isn't unique anymore. Putting a bunch of guys up on the line, like not letting the offense figure out who's coming, who's going. Like I said before, Jets did a pretty good job in this game, figuring out who's coming, who's going, not putting themselves in bad spots. It just didn't last all that long. So you can look. I mean, do we have the drawing here? Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, we
just
got it.
They've got everything accounted for. Just 1-1s. You got a little help in case you got a little blitzer there potentially. Make it white. I think this looks nice. Watch Jonathan Cooper out here. Look how wide he is.
Oh my gosh, that is insane.
He is way out there because his job
is that a slot receiver?
Well, it's a tight end. It's Mason Taylor, a guy who we all like from LSU.
Yep. And he's split out. Just for the people listening on the podcast side. So their tight end is split out, not a traditional tight end formation.
Right.
And Jonathan Cooper's on the outside of him.
Because when your job's to be on the tight end's outside shoulder, there you go. I wonder how far they go before you say, like, actually, you're just in there. But let's see. So there we go.
Like if Evan Ingram split out as a wide receiver, would technically that outside linebacker be on the outside of him? Like on the other side of the numbers?
Potentially. I mean, it's just how the defense accounts for it. It's up to them. So this is right after the snap. This is instance after the snap. Bang. Now you'll notice Mason Taylor's head still looking inside as Jonathan Cooper is on the run.
Oh, no.
That's why, I don't know what you do there because as Mason Taylor, you're told, yeah, watch the ball. Like, you're not listening to snap, watching the ball moves, then take him. Jonathan Cooper's too fast for that.
Ugh.
If you look at the rest of the linemen, they're all looking at the guy. Like, it's over. You can move on to the next one. He's by him. Like, he's on this. He's still got weight on this front foot as Cooper's downhill. And now you got him over here.
No.
Oh, and by the way, you've got JFM coming straight up here after a little, here he is. Just a little stunt. We got Singleton taking out 76. And, there he goes. You got 2 guys coming. The quarterback, there's a sack. Another play. Again, similar look. You've got all these guys on the line of scrimmage. Bang, bang. Cable.
We unplugged. The pass rush was too good.
And we're back.
Hey.
There. And then you wind up with Ufunga being blocked by a running back. Again, just kind of fun. This reminds me a lot of what Derwin James is doing against the Broncos, causing some chaos, just getting these kind of 2 guys tight in together. How do you block them? You're inside this extra blocker they have out there, so there's just no answer. The Broncos, a lot of the time, that was Nate Adkins. You're like, we like that matchup.
Yeah.
But without the leverage, it doesn't work.
Right.
So what happens? Singleton drops. Sternad drops. So you wind up, this guy doesn't have anybody. It's a way to manufacture the one-on-ones. You've got the one-on-one over here. You actually have the double team here because this guy who was supposed to be taking Sternad gets a double team. And you have this one-on-one right here. Ufunga against a running back. Who would you take in this matchup?
Tough, without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
It worked.
He is. Beats him inside. That's a sack. It's
No, this is-
it's fun. It's fun.
But it feels like Tosh Point No.
This is a great. This is a
Tosh
hell of
Point
a
is
breakdown.
a
I'm loving
great
it.
show.
Tosh
But yeah,
0.0, he's a Sigma Chi, just like me.
you
You know who else is a Sigma Chi?
You were in a frat.
I was in a fraternity. Let's put some respect
oh,
on
I
the
didn't
name,
know that
Henry.
was derogatory.
And Sean Payton, also a Sigma Chi.
Have you told him?
No, I need to. I just
you
found
should.
out recently that he was actually.
you should
I need to
definitely
give him our
tell him.
secret handshake.
Yeah, you definitely should. So yeah, again, like we talked about, if you can set up these one-on-ones, guys are gonna win. You always think like, if you get Zach Allen one-on-one,
Yep,
if you get
totally.
Jonah Ellis one-on-one, that counts for these safeties as
I think
well.
they said
Like,
Jonah Ellis was the one holding him back.
I didn't say that. I just threw the question out there.
But no, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Hufunga. Give him a one-on-one.
If you
It's a
wind
great
up getting
point.
the one-on-one with Hufunga and a running back, you're gonna win that, or a tight end, as we found out later in the game. We aren't talking about that one though. Here's another sack. So this one, they aren't all heavy up front. They have the numbers to block. Obviously, 4 guys on the line of scrimmage. They got 5 there.
But no one inside the guard or center.
Interesting look for sure. And so what do you do to make sure that these guys don't help out? Well, you'll notice Alex Singleton standing right there on the line after the snap, immediately moves forward. This guy has to account for him. Now you create one-on-one. I guess there's where the help is, and it's a little 2v2 here. Singleton's not blitzing, but by crashing forward, you pull an extra lineman over there. They have to look. He's just in coverage with this little guy. Might be that green dog blitz where if he stays, the running back stays in protection, then Singleton gets to blitz. Winds up going to the flat. They mirror. So you wind up with Singleton starting here and then flaring out to the side. With that look, all of a sudden the offense has to appreciate it. And everything always goes to hell in the trenches anyway. But you wind up with this over here, and you want a little pick here around the outside, and you see Franklin Myers coming here, Cooper over here, because you wind up again with those one-on-ones. So there's some of the fun stuff.
What down and distance was that? Do you have any idea?
I don't have it pulled up.
Because if that wasn't 3rd and 15 or longer, you should just run there. Justin Fields should just check to a run.
Yes. I mean, I think statistically, if you're as likely to throw a sack as you are a completion, you should probably run every time.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
Yeah. So then you wind up with these two getting the sacks. Okay. One offensive play, because that's all people care about.
So it looks like we
Cable
got Broncos at the Jets' 15-yard line here.
Yes. So they do something fun. Marvin Mims in motion. What do Broncos fans hate the most about the Broncos offense? The screens.
Oh,
The screens.
yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
screens.
Both throwing behind the line of scrimmage
People
all the
do
time.
not like that.
Yep.
But there are perks to doing that. We talked again, Chargers game, Derwin up in those gaps. A lot of those are the run blitzes when the Broncos are showing that they're going to run. You throw the run blitz out there. How do you beat the run blitz? A screen. So you keep the defense honest. It opens up things in the run game. It can also open things up in the passing game. Jets have been thinking all week. Broncos want to throw screens. When Marvin Mims is on the field, they want to get him the ball on a screen in particular. So you throw him in this motion, leak him out. Bo throws a little pump fake on the screen. Get linebacker moving inside. So what does that do out here? If you go back, 3 guys covering 2 guys. He's got the quarter. He's got the quarter over there. And then he's got this flat underneath. As this guy pulls in, you have the post route from Cortland Sutton. He clears out both of those 2 defenders. I'm pretty sure Sauce probably should have stayed outside. Potentially no. Potentially it was this linebacker who should have stuck with Adkins, but because of the screen, but down, that's Jamie and Sherwood, a good linebacker who Sean just put in a bind, which is essentially either Sean made Sauce Gardner look silly or notably good linebacker Jamie and Sherwood look silly. I got Nate Adkins all alone right here for an easy touchdown. So there's a fun little offensive play.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And man, Sean was in his bag on that one. And Henry, a lot of people are very, very, very mad at Sean Payton after.
Not me, though.
No, not at you. That was a great breakdown. Shout out to Henry for stepping in and playing like a
Yes.
starter today with Benny doing Broncos X's and O's right now. But Henry, a lot of people are mad at Sean Payton. I think he's getting a little too much blame. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Maybe some ways. I think there's a couple of things that the Broncos can do to fix or at least really help their offense. And look, we've seen the Broncos offense score points this year, so it's not like it's been 6 bad weeks. We'll dive into the offensive side of all of this tomorrow. But before we do, I want to make sure that we talk about the headline of this show after breaking down the defense on film with stats, with how historic it's been. Let's get to the conversation on if this team is a Super Bowl 50 defense quality of defense. And let's do that after I give a shout out to Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, because for decades you've stood by your team through every season, every setback, every comeback, wearing that worn-in jersey, cheering from the same lucky seats. And it's not about the team. It's about the family, the legacy, the love of the game. And at Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, we get that kind of loyalty because we've been here for more than 30 years, standing with Colorado families, treating more adults with cancer than anyone else in the state. And when life gets tough, they never stop showing up. DNVR and Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers are proud to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and as most of us know someone who's faced it, and it hits close to home. The good news, it's highly treatable when caught early. So here's the challenge. Ladies, if you're 40 or older, schedule your screening. And fellas, check in with the women you care about, your mom, your sister, your best friend, your teammate. A simple nudge could be the difference. So check them out over at RockyMountainCancerCenters.com. Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, the official sponsor of Denver sports fans. Head to RockyMountainCancerCenters.com to learn more.
And shout out to our friends over at Toyota. It's nice to be back in the Toyota lounge with all of our friends in the Toyota chat. While I was taking that big plane over the ocean, I was just thinking, wow, it'd be nice to be in a Toyota instead.
For damn sure.
Wow. It'd be so nice because that was not fun. Toyota's the best, whether it's a Land Cruiser. I guess they don't have like a water cruiser, which would be the only way to get over that ocean.
Or a flying cruiser.
The flying cruiser.
Yeah.
There's an idea, Toyota. You guys can have that one. Whether you're conquering off-road trails, hauling the weight of the world, there's a Toyota truck that's just right for you, whether it's the all-new 2025 Tacoma. So much good stuff. Trucks have always been a part of their DNA. It's why they're so popular in Colorado. They have 17 models with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the 4Runner. They also have 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. Toyota SUVs take command on the road and on the trail, so you can explore the road less traveled without sacrificing smooth city rides in SUVs like RAV4 and Grand Highlander. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores, location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Rapo and Centennial, Corn Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota and Littleton, Mountain State Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
And as our friend Carolina Montoya says, manograms for the dub. That's what we're talking about, Carolina. Shout out to everyone in the Toyota chat. Hit us with a thumbs up and let us know right now, do you think this Broncos defense is approaching, however you want to take that, is approaching the Super Bowl 50 defense? If not, let us know. Why not? Let us know in the Twitter chat, but also in the chat below if you're watching later. Want to hear from all of you because, Henry, I want to ask you that question, but I got one more question before we get to that. Since you're so discombobulated,
right?
Any chance you know what day it is?
Tuesday.
Incorrect. Taco Tuesday is what day it is, and I'm mad at Harrison and Andre because they stole Taco Tuesday from us, and they're going to make me hungry right now. Let's play it.
All right, Dre, Taco Tuesday time with Taco Bell. Just got the delivery here.
Taco Tuesday. You love to see it. Sucks for the people coming back from London. They can't enjoy it. They don't have food like this in London, guys. Sorry. And this, I don't even need to look at my phone. Taco Bell classics are back, and that's what we're leaning into. My favorite, just a classic crunchy beef taco.
We got bean burritos, soft taco supremes, and a Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
Which I've never had.
Yeah.
So
bean burritos, what the missus loves when we go.
Hit me that Mexican pizza.
Yeah,
I'm just
we gotta sample that. We gotta sample that.
Mexican
you can.
pizza. I don't even know what to expect, to be honest.
Yeah, look at this. Look at that.
Okay.
Show it off. Show it off. The people gotta see what we're working with.
Good presentation.
Sure
there.
does.
Yep.
Sure does. Yeah, here, give me a napkin. I can't dirty up the studio here. Yep. Yep. Looks like we've got a little double layer here.
Double layer, yes.
There we go.
Okay, breaks off pretty easily.
I notice, unlike RK, you're not a hot sauce guy.
I can, but I kind of just want to get the real experience
I
with
also,
this.
yes. Looks like we've got cheese, beef, all the good stuff.
Okay, that's good. The pico gives it a nice little kick.
That hits. That hits. Got some salsa on there.
That's really good. All right, I'm
That's
going
good
to go
stuff.
the taco now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the classic crunchy taco.
This I will go for some Diablo sauce on.
Oh, Diablo, huh?
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
fire. I'm going
go,
fire.
If you're
Give
going
me
to go
the
hard,
fire.
you might as well go all the way.
Give me the fire. And then, as we mentioned, little bean burrito. Always yummy. Always a classic. That's what the missus goes with. And a supreme soft taco. So that's got a little sour cream, little tomatoes.
I've
on
never
top
had
of
this
the
soft
classic.
taco either.
Come on, man. You got to up your game here.
I'm a order the same thing every time type of guy.
Yep. It's 4 of these. 4 of these. Classic crunchy beef taco. That hits. That's not a Taco Tuesday for you. I don't know what is. Bless you, Taco Bell. Happy Taco Tuesday to y'all.
I love you guys, but I hate you guys because I am starving for
Right.
Taco Tuesday now. And I'm also starving to know the answer. Is this defense approaching the Super Bowl 50 defense, Henry?
I mentioned it before. You know, talking to Benny about it, and one of the times we were talking might have just been in that really loud place he brought us. You remember that one?
Oh, it was loud.
It
yeah.
was so loud. I couldn't hear I still can't hear.
Can you hear though?
I can't quite hear either. But it might have been in there that we were talking about. But somewhere we were talking about mid-season. Because at this point, like when you're talking about trends, you're talking about like per game stats, there's a bigger influence because you're less than halfway through, you're affecting more games. As soon as you get past that midpoint, then all of a sudden you're counting down. You know, what's the sack pace for the Broncos right now? They're at like 5 sacks per game at the moment, something like that.
I think it's 84.
Right. So that come out to about 5 a game.
Yeah.
So if you after 15 games are keeping the same pace, you already have the all-time sack lead.
Yeah.
And so like if you're sitting there with a month to go and say like, oh, now we need two per game plus like 3 in one of them in these final 4 weeks, then you're obviously talking about like best pass rush ever. And I think as you hit mid-season, all of a sudden all those milestones seem like they're really creeping up. And so that's when I feel like I can say, yeah, they might be that good. If you're just going into like the details now, are they not? It's the turnovers. Like that's the one thing that is very different about this defense and the no-fly zone defenses. They were just getting the ball and then scoring points with the ball as well. So I think that's got to be the one box that needs to be checked. And if you can check that box and continue on the same pace that you're on, which is going to be really hard to do.
Yeah,
The
totally.
pace being 12 sacks more than any defense has ever had in the history of football, then yes, you are that good. But turnover is the one thing that's missing. And then expecting this level play the rest of the way, setting yourself up for a little bit of disappointment from regression.
Sorry, I'm adding in my head.
Okay. And I'll add on top of that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So like last year, we remember there were a bunch of those stats for the Broncos that were just like incredible for the defense. And I can't remember specifically what they were, but the points per game and all that sort of stuff. But in the final like 4 or 5 weeks of last season, some of that kind of disappeared. And it's not because they played all that bad. It's just that, you know, there's good luck, there's bad luck, and things kind of like balanced out toward the end of the year to like, yeah, this is a really good defense. Is it the best in the NFL? Like, maybe not. And at some point, most defenses that have a hot stretch like these 6 weeks will have like a cold stretch somewhere in there that will kind of balance things out.
Really good point, Henry. And I think everything you said is fair and spot on. I think the Twitter chat right now is overreacting too much. And I understand the because they're saying like, stop it. 2015 defense is the best defense in NFL history. Can't even compare these two. This defense has holes where the 2015 defense doesn't. The 2015 defense did not have the defensive player of the year on it. The 2015 defense did not have 6 games through the season on pace to be the best pass rush in NFL history. Now, the 2015 defense, had the turnovers like you talked about. And Henry, that's one thing that a couple of weeks ago we had this conversation. I said the exact same thing as you. The Broncos defense this year needs to come up with clutch plays and game-winning plays, which are turnovers a lot of the time. But you know what the Broncos defense did this past week and the week before? They were on the field when the game ended, and they were the ones that needed to close out the game, and they did that. They sacked Justin Fields for a 9th time to end the game and win that game. The Broncos defense was on the field when the Eagles were trying to drive and score, and the Eagles got close, but the Broncos defense stopped them. So I think they're approaching it, and so that's why. Are they there yet? No, of course not. They haven't won a Super Bowl, but we're only 6 games in right now. And where we are 6 games to where that 2015 defense was, Henry, the 2015 defense through the first 6 games of the season gave up 17 points per game on average. This Broncos team, 15.8 points per game. So points per game, they're 1.2 points per game better. Now, you talked about turnovers. You know how many turnovers this Broncos defense has through 4 games?
5?
Close, 4.
Ooh.
You know how many turnovers the 2015 defense had through 6 games?
No.
Take a guess.
Sounds like less. I'll go 3. 6. It was just more. We're close.
Try 17. 17.
Okay, so you were not making.
No,
that's why I would. I got twisted up.
I'm not trying to
You're right.
I'm not trying to spin this for this defense, but
I sound so stupid.
I do think they're. That when I was adding something, that's what I was adding. I was like, wait, this can't be the turnover, the takeaway.
It would not take you that long to add 3.
That is insane. And so like that defense was fantastic in 2015. This defense is also fantastic and scary in their own ways. They're scary in the sacks, where the 2015 defense was scary in the takeaways. And sacks can lead to takeaways. They haven't yet. But don't just like throw this conversation out the window because that defense was so good, because this defense is so good. And they had Von Miller on that defense. Henry, Nick Bonitto's on pace to be better than Von Miller's best single season. Von Miller's best single season in terms of just sacks, 18.5. Nick Bonitto on pace for 22.67 sacks. It is absolutely 6.7 doesn't make any sense either. So
that's what Google said.
Good luck Googling it.
Right.
So just. Again, not trying to make a case one way or the other. Clearly, Broncos 2015 defense won a Super Bowl, so we're not there yet. They had their strengths over this team, but this Broncos defense also has their strengths over that defense.
Right. And going back to what you said about like getting off the field the last couple games and kind of sealing those wins, that was our complaint 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago we were saying like, they played really well, but they couldn't get off the field against the Colts. They couldn't get off the field against the Chargers. Yeah. And maybe that's like old Turner that's corner that's been turned.
Yeah.
And I think that there are the next corner that they need to get around is that turnover one. And if they can do that and start forcing turnovers, because right now the Broncos' defensive stats are great. And when you look at them on a per drive average, they're even better because the Broncos offense just is not staying on the field long enough. So it's more opportunities for opposing offenses against this defense. If you start ending those drives even quicker, then that's where everything could kind of multiply and you could start feeling like, oh, we're going into a game against the Giants. Maybe they don't score.
Yep. Great point. And also, if you're going to rack up turnovers, playing against a rookie making his 4th career NFL start is a great time to do it. Henry, one more thing that I want to get to on this show really quick. Special teams. The Broncos could be making a big addition, or could have made a big addition. They signed J.T. Gray today or yesterday to their 53-man roster. A lot of people might say, who? He's a 3-time All-Pro special teams player. He played with the Saints from 2018 to 2024. Obviously, was with Sean Payton from 2018 till 2022, and then stayed with the Saints. 3-time All-Pro, 1-time Pro Bowler. And man, I like this move. I don't know why he was on the Ravens practice squad, why the Broncos didn't want to sign him this past offseason, especially because he had the connection to Sean and Darren Rizzi. But the Broncos special teams needs a boost right now. It needs someone that can tackle. You can't be allowing 72-yard runs. I believe that was DeAndre Tillman that had him locked up and let him get away. We've also seen multiple other gaffes in special teams that you can't have. So I really like this move.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, like he's been one of the best at what he does in the NFL for quite a while. I did a story on Riley Moss and Tremon Smith at the beginning of the 2023 season when the Broncos special teams got off to like a ridiculous start. And talked to Tremon about like, okay, so who are the top guys? And talked to him for quite a while about JT Gray, who missed most of that season with an injury, maybe even that entire season with an injury. But that's been one of the guys who the best in the league study, including Tremon, who one of the reasons the Broncos special team is not so good this year, you don't have Tremon Smith. Should have held on to him. Got a little cute, but it is what it is. Darren Rizzi had the chance to bring in his guy, and now he gets another one of his guys in JT Gray. And it stinks that we're headed to overtime.
Boom.
I'll just handle that. So if you're watching on TV, go over to the website, thednvr.com. But yeah, I mean, that's that duo you had at the time of Tremon Smith and Riley Moss was the best in the NFL. Riley becomes a starter last year, and then things change. Hopefully you're starting to figure things out now with Gray here.
Yeah, exactly. So I love this move.
Should have kept Tremon.
And maybe should have kept the previous staff. I mean, who knows how much of this is on Darren Rizzi, but this might be low-key the most underwhelming part of this team so far. Is because the Broncos had a top 10 special teams unit, in some ways top 5 special teams unit last year, and it's cost them at least one game. You only have 2 losses, and special teams has cost you half of your losses. That's inexcusable. You cannot have that. If special teams isn't going to win you games, it can't lose you games. And if special teams is going to lose you games, it has to win you multiple games. And that's right now the way special teams is playing. Henry, you mentioned we're a third of the way through the season. Special teams is on pace to lose 3 games for the Broncos this year, and you cannot not have that. So hopefully Darren Rizzi is able to turn around. I do like Darren Rizzi. He's a very good guy from every interaction I've had. So I hope he's able to turn it around because the Broncos, especially once you get into Super Bowl contender status, maybe the Broncos are there at 4-2 right now, 3-game win streak, hottest team, tied for the hottest team in the NFL. Once you get there, you have to have good special teams to win. At 2015, Brandon McManus 10 for 10 on special teams, didn't lose any games on special teams. So good thing is Will Lutz still pretty good. So okay, anything else to say on that?
New scheme. It's a lot easier when it's offense to be like, oh, it's just not clicking yet. So you hope it comes around. Net negative on special teams in 4 of the 6 games by PFR's tracking. And like they're still having moments. Like there was one punt last week, I think maybe the first one of the game, where you've got Devin Key and Chris Abrams-Drain jamming number 34 for the Jets on a punt. Never got off the line of scrimmage. Like, I think when the punt return was over, maybe he was 8 yards downfield, and they were just having fun, just like, no, you can't go in. Like, they have their moments. They have the talent. I think it's just figuring out the technique and system and some of that stuff. Had Marvin Mims returned a kick before last week? I don't know that he had. It felt like they were always kicking away from him.
Yeah, as they should.
I guess I can check real quick. But I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say I'm not returned. Or sorry, not concerned.
You have not returned either.
I have not returned either.
The ball.
Actually, he's had a bunch.
He was released from the Eagles practice squad, and he will not be returning to Denver.
Needs to get fixed. Can't have it. Special teams. Final thought. Just fix it.
Totally. 100% agree with you. And before we round out this show, let's give our final thought by talking to the chat. We got a super chat coming in from our friend Evan, who says, how was your jet lag, and how do you think the players' jet lag will impact them on Sunday? Henry, how's your jet lag? Seems great.
I think it's the sickness that's getting me more than anything.
Fair.
And I've been going through trying to think, because that's the thing when you meet so many people. Because we're meeting people that week, it was probably met 150 people, probably 75 people who were like, "Hey, listen to this show," which is awesome and a lot of fun. One of you got me sick though. And I've been thinking through the Carvers, very nice people. Brian though, I think that's who did it.
Wow, you're putting this on a specific person.
But no,
That's wild.
I think that's what it was. We were at the game. He bought me a beer, really nice. I think the hands on the famously.
Did he dip the hands in the beer?
No, but there was a mix-up because we had the two cups. One might have been the other. That's what I trace it back to. The Carvers, nice people, whom Ryan called bumpkins because they're from Wyoming. Not them personally, but everybody from Wyoming in general. When Colorado played Wyoming. Top suspect right now.
Wow, top suspect. My jet lag's great. I slept a ton on the plane, slept all of last night. So thank you for checking in with us, Evan. And yeah, that's how it will impact the Broncos on Sunday. What's interesting, so Broncos 3 weeks ago played the Bengals on a short week, Monday Night Football. Then immediately they fly to Philly that Friday, play the Eagles, then immediately fly to London after. Then immediately after beating the Jets, fly back to Denver. They got in Sunday night, so they got a little head start on us. They got about 24-hour head start on us trying to adjust. But the interesting thing is with all of those weird schedules for the past 3 weeks, Sean Payton actually said that it was going to be this week that was going to be the most difficult on the players' bodies. And so I expect him to change some things up. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow's like a walkthrough instead, and then a heavier practice on Thursday, heavier practice on Friday. Sean did that a couple of weeks ago after that Monday night game. Wouldn't be surprised if he changes things up because he has actually said that this week is going to be the most difficult. And that's why last week was clearly a trap game for the Broncos offense, clearly not a trap game for the Broncos defense. It's almost like maybe this week is the trap game instead of last week, but I actually think that it won't be a trap game because the Giants are 2-1 under their new quarterback. Crazy enough, their only loss came against the Saints. Their wins have come against the Chargers and the Eagles. Who the hell is this New York Giants team? We're going to break it down tomorrow and Thursday, where we also talk about the Broncos' offensive problems, and we've got some things that can fix their offense. We're also going to talk to our guy, Brian Baldinger. And before we get out of here, Vagino gives us a donated a DNVR sports membership on YouTube. That is too cool. Thank you, our friend Vagino. We appreciate you a lot.
And we get to see like what's kind of coming up next, what you hear has for us to read, kind of close out the show. Get narrowed down. Last one to get cut out was Henry Knows Ball. So you guys won't hear it from Yaya, but
but I wanted it. Like nobody's
sure you
thought of that.
Okay. Okay. And unstarted. Yeah.
We just watched it start being born talking about Henry.
Yeah,
I've been born.
true.
People forget before Benny did the breakdowns, Todd did the breakdowns. Before Todd did the breakdowns, that was my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you still do them over at the DNVR.
I'm like PJ Locke. That's who it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my job.
And man, you stepped up and you made a very hard hit today in a great way. So shout out to Henry. Shout out
One more
to
question.
Yahir. We got one more question.
Who's going to have the hardest collision with Cam Scadaboo this week?
Oh, Alex Singleton.
I was thinking Ufunga. Yeah.
I think
we'll talk more tomorrow.
I think it's gonna be. I can't wait to see Cam Scadaboo.
Most likely to punch Cam Scadaboo if he does a flip after a touchdown.
Ooh.
We could save some of these for tomorrow.
I like that. Let's do it for tomorrow. Tune in where we start breaking down
Christopher.
this
Different Christopher.
Giants team. Shout out to everyone tuning in with us. Hit us with the thumbs up on the way out, and we'll see you tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow we're starting at noon. We'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.